on 999 Show. Like and sub, please. Well, tonight we're going to paint on this aqua board, an ampersand aqua board. And so it's specifically designed for watercolor. And so we're going to do the tarot art, an abstract version of the moon card as portrayed in this. So this will be like the third or the fourth time I've tried to do this, but only the second time on this channel. And I kind of like the idea of a blue moon and a bright yellow background. So it's not a true moon, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the moon more like an egg shape. And I took the liberty of just cutting this shape out first. And what I'm using here is to do the sketch work, I'm using a Prismacolor watercolor pencil. And we'll just kind of make the moon like a man on the moon type of thing here. Big old chin. Happy moon, huh? Something like that. And we've got an eye. Big old eye. Just kind of looking out there into the world. Just because pupils are darker color, we're just going to come in with this pencil here and do that. So maybe a little bit of that on here. There we go. Hello, Xavier. Welcome. Welcome to Art Night. And we are doing an abstract moon card. Kind of down like that. You know, it's kind of like a plant. I draw it out here. Give me a little hand, an abstract hand like that. I am making we're going to be doing a watercolor. This is tarot art. And this is just a simple sketch. Kind of like a man on a moon thing. But you know, it's sort of a moon that grows on Mars. Something like that. You know, it's not too exact. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine that it's not that exact. And then we'll do a little bit of a background, some faraway hills in the distance. Maybe a little mountain here. Another one coming up over here. And this one just sort of coming off over here. And then we got like just a sense of a flat plane here. Now we're going to be coming over this with some paint. It's just a little simple. It's a Tarot. It is an abstract. It's an interpretation. So like right over here is your traditional Rider-Waite, and I'm doing an interpretation. So this is an interpretation of the moon. So you have like the sun and a moon, but I'm kind of having it like an egg shape. You know, you got that Humpty Dumpty moon kind of a thing, or it's on an egg where it's like, you know, a root. It's something that can grow into something. Something that can grow into something. And then because in the moon you have these two towers in here, I'm just going to take these two towers. And so this will be kind of like more like the death card. And then you'll have this different kind of a reality. We'll put a tower over here. Let's see, we'll put it up here. And kind of like this. We'll run it down like that. And just doing some simple sketch does make the whole process easier. Now I'm a little bit, you know, I wouldn't usually do anything like this when I'm painting on a piece of clay board or a canvas or something like that, because simply because that you pay so much for just the material, so you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, that it is well, let's just give this other one tower over here a little bit. Maybe it's a little further out, a little closer there. It's a little taller. This so we'll put the shadow on that side because, well, the source of light's over there. I'm going to get it maybe just a little bit like it's a 3D effect. And when we add the paint onto it, it'll look better. But I'm just going to come in here and put like, it's got some windows in it. All right. It's not that perfect right now, but hopefully when we start adding the layers of paint, that it will get to be more rooted into the surface here. And so we're going to use I'm going to use a combination of watercolor paints and acrylics. So I don't know if I'm going to finish this piece tonight. I probably won't. I probably won't finish it. I'm going to paint on it for a little while. We have these fluid acrylics that I can use with it. But I want to try first. The last time I painted on one of these, I used acrylics, but I want to see how the water behaves on it. So we're going to do it as a fairly straight watercolor with some accents. We're going to do it with. Why can't I think straight? It's not like well, yeah, you know what? I draw like a kindergartner too. I failed drawing class. I was not a. But you know what? You can be a drawing class failure and still become a really good painter. All right, so let's start with. What am I going to start with? I'm going to start by just doing some groundwork here. And so this is a Van Gogh pocket box. I took 2 years of high school art, and then very bad at drawing. Probably, I'm a little bit on the autistic spectrum, so probably that may have had something to do with it. I don't know. And yeah, it's just a little bit not I have what they call audio processing disorder, and so I struggled with a lot of things, and but you come into this place where you think you gotta live in this rule base. You're living in a rule based world, but not all rules really apply, because some rules, like the order of operations, yeah, I don't know. I took those tests a long time ago, and at that time they didn't say I had autism or ADHD or anything like that. They said I had. It took about a month to determine. They said audio processing disorder, whatever that means. And I'm gonna do some different brushes. So some of the brushes will be. I have all my brushes just right on the side, and I studied poetry for 30 years, and because writing was so hard for me. Writing was really hard, so couldn't tell you, huh? Yeah, writing and reading was so hard that I really worked. I worked my ass off to just to get where I was at. I'm gonna put, like, it's got some water pools here. Actually, this medium works really, really well for watercolor. It's amazing, actually. Let's go use some of this ultramarine blue in places too. Oh, you can rework it too. Too bad I couldn't use this medium, this type of medium all the time, because it's, but of course, you know, these are like, these panels are like, what are they, were they like 3 for $10? Yeah. A pack of 28 of 100% cotton watercolor paper was, I think, like $20 or something like that for a larger size. And let's see what. Let's go over here and put this darker color back in here. Moon tree. Yeah, whatever you want. It's, you know, it's. Did you ever watch Mr. Rogers? What was that land called? That was it, like Imagination Land or something like that in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood? When they went back in, there was the King Friday and all those other folks. Well, I guess my mom says that she's like really elderly now, and she says that was like one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And yeah, I think I might also do. I'm gonna take some. Some color layering here. I'm gonna change directions. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't remember it either. I could look it up, but I'm on the same device, and I'm not gonna. I don't. I'm on my mobile device, and but it's been, I don't know. I remember the Saturday Night Live skit really well though, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Let's see if we can add a little green into this and see what happens. You can reel fast. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Saturday Night Live version was really good though. Oh, good old Eddie Murphy. I think now I've watched I grew up on Saturday Night Live, but you know, you look at I never saw that Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood when it came out on the TV, but we got the water here. That actually looks pretty cool for the foreground. Maybe some little spots in here. It just makes me laugh. I think my favorite Eddie Murphy movie is The Distinguished Gentleman, and you can actually you can I have like free versions of it like flagged on YouTube. Actually, there are no pay versions of it either, so it's where Eddie Murphy is playing a con man because he's good at those con man roles, and then he's pulling a job on this rich politician's house or some insurance guy or whatever he is, and then he learns that being a politician is more lucrative than being a criminal, so he works to go into a life of crime. No, a life of being a politician. Yeah, you should just look it up. Distinguished Gentleman, and it should be free on YouTube someplace. And I'm gonna make this a toned down form of blue here. I'm gonna tone it down. I should probably do it this way. Yeah, I watched it like I watched that movie. I watched it before every single election cycle, and then during the elections, I'll often watch it. Well, not I mean, when they're campaigning, I'll watch it often because it's like, anyways, it's just a great film. And let's see, what do we got up here? I'm gonna, yeah, okay. Kind of a light blue here. Uh-oh, I don't want to drop water on there. Oh, at the farm, yeah. Perfect call. Yeah, I tend to watch movies over and over again. One of the movies that I use for like sleep aid is Down Periscope with Kelsey Grammer and all these I think it's my favorite film as a comedy's concerned. Is And then I like comedies the best though. Leap of Faith is another one of my favorite films, but I can't watch it over and over again like I can do that to uh, Down Periscope. I can watch that Distinguished Gentleman movie over and over again too, but I don't. I usually with that one I only like watch the first 30-40 minutes of it, and then I'm content to turn it off. Another movie that I can watch over and over again is The Rock Star. Rockstar with um, what's his name? Marky Mark. Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. Now I don't watch the whole thing. I just watch it over and over again. Just the um, I guess we'll just go back over that with the black. Find a way to lighten this thing up a bit. I watch it till the first concert, but then when he starts to go downhill, with the drugs and the and everything, that's the point of time that I kind of stopped watching it, because um, well, this is going to be really fascinating, actually. Back when you were a wee lad, you used to always fall asleep laying in bed watching the third Jurassic Park. Huh? Yeah, I remember that first Jurassic Park came out. That was some movie. Because I'm quite a bit older than you are. Um, we got one on here. We can take this and essentially what we're doing here is that this one's covering the other light, or you might look at the lights going this direction here. But I'm just blocking the coloring in, and so I'll have time when I do final touches on this thing um, to fine tune it to make it look more realistic, or it's not really realistic. I'm not we're not going for realism here. That's no. So that's not really what you're going for, because we are in what, imagination land. And let me just move this over here. So let's see if we can make it more like an orangey color. Mix that yellow in there, kind of that yellow ochre a little bit mixed in there. No, I'm old enough to have a parent that's almost 90. So, and I only have one parent left. My father's been dead for like 13 years. And yeah, you know, it's what it is. I don't know why I'm making this red, but I made it red in the very original one. So red for passion, red for fire. And because it's abstract art, I don't have to really stick to what in any strict sense of what the color schemes of the moon card are. But I do like it conceptually as an egg. And I want to add a different color in here. Oh, we got some of this color next door here. So it's just going to make it more muddy by adding some blue to it. We'll let it dry and we'll come back over it and add some more red. Or maybe not. Makes it more earthy tones. Oh well. I need to stop doing that. Yeah, I'm not going to add any of wolves in here, actually. I probably will. We'll see. We'll see. If I do, it'll be. Certainly, it's not going to be today. It's not going to be in today's painting session. I have a guest on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to be having a guest in a series called Color in the Tarot. I haven't done one since like March. I know I did one. I think I did one Color in the Tarot in April. These long four-fingered thing, cartoonish. And so 4 o'clock, the person could. That was the when you have guests on, and they're in different time zones. There's not very many people who live in my time zone that I know of that that do tarot content and so forth. I do have another channel where I'm working into coming into that place to where I can do live stream divination. See what we'll do in here. We'll do a couple different color things going on. I like this ultramarine blue over here. Let's move this over so you can kind of see what I'm doing using with the paint palette. Fancy M. Yeah. Over here, yeah, the empty side. Yeah. Well, they don't have to be jam-packed full of stuff. I have of my reinterpretation of my abstract tarot art. I have this one is my Three of Swords. I really just I don't like the Three of Swords, but I like what I did here. So it's got this heart thing, and then I have another Three of Swords, which I like better that I did. And so this is my other Three of Swords. And instead of swords, it's UFOs with laser beams that are coming down and they're charging up the guy. And so this one I like that. So, and then, so yeah, so essentially what the 999 show does is it is slowly moving into doing more talk, and I'm of course, when I first started the channel, I wanted it to be to do talk, because something like talk radio or something like that, but things have a way of evolving and becoming things that you don't. And then so I just recently split the channel off into another channel, have another channel where I do mostly divination, but it's not quite at the 50 sub mark yet so I could start doing live streams. I could do live streams on a desktop computer, but in this room, I don't have it wired for Ethernet. I have, and so I need to wire this room for Ethernet before I could do anything like that. Oh, used to do talk radio. I just love talk radio. That's all I can say is I love talk radio. It's like, and yeah, my favorite was um, the Art Bell show. I and Coast to Coast. It doesn't come in where I'm living at. It's in this valley. It's out in real rural areas, and it doesn't come in very well because just the whole topography and the station that carries it, it just doesn't reach here. That's all I'm saying. I would probably need a 50-foot antenna just to be able to catch that show on the radio. So I actually haven't, clued into it for. Then I'm doing content creation, so it's like you only have so much time to watch and pay attention to those things that you like to do. Okay, so we're gonna have to work that into something. Yeah. What kind of show did your grandpa do? He's gonna come in here and thing just looks like it's an oppressive weight that's sitting on his nose. That's yeah. Hmm. Right now I'm oh, your mom doesn't like talking about it? Oh, okay. Hmm. I think I'm gonna leave this light area in like that. Yeah, so we're kind of taking that oppressive weight that was on his nose off of there. And there we go. So he's doing interviews and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm looking forward to my Saturday interview. And but yeah. Well, let's see. Let's do the sky then. And we'll come back in and use so weird when you do watercolor because it's like it's like doing this. I just started doing watercolor in January, and I work for doing painting. I did with the acrylics. I would do the background first, and then roll out and do the foreground, and use heavy body paints and hammer the paints in the canvas. I I probably need to do some more of those. As soon as the weather changes and I can go outdoors and do some more painting. But it would be nice if I could pick up a POV rig to do to strap the camera on my chest or on my forehead or someplace like that. And then we get a different view. So that that's what I need to get something before the tariffs go sky high on things. There was like something I had in my box, my cart, and the price like went up by like $4, which I know was the tariffs, and so yeah, I do know we need to reshore a lot of manufacturing. I get that. Then we also only have so much money. Oh, I like this pattern here. Kind of nestling into a cave. Yeah. Actually, this is the first time I've actually painted on this aqua board with watercolor. And I did paint on it before with acrylics, but it was not as... This is so beautiful. I mean, I can't tell you how this surface for holding paint and the paint staying in place, just how easy it is to work with. So if I avoid reflective paints and avoid... Wow, look at that. Getting pulled into the mood. Yeah, that's exactly. I don't know if I want to do the whole thing. I might want to leave some of it kind of like... Actually, we'll just do a different color, actually. Yeah. Kind of like you're being sucked into an alternative world. That's kind of what I'm thinking of it as. You got this egg moon thing, and they're just kind of like, hey, hi, we're out there. Look at me. I'm the moon. Look at me. Yeah. Yeah. Because the only other places I can go from here is... These are fluid acrylics. And that color is pretty much the same as one of those, but I have this fluorescent chartreuse. I don't think I'm going to put any fluorescence on this. I haven't decided yet because I just might keep it at the level of the watercolor and not go any further. But I want to see how this canvas behaves after after the paint dries for like 24 hours. I know that I said I was going to do a self-portrait tomorrow night, and I think I probably will. I probably will come back to this Saturday night, because then I'll do 2 shows on Saturday. Maybe. Take things play. I caregive for my elderly mother, so a lot of things depend on that. So you see it too, yeah. I'm in here about 45 minutes. I didn't want to go past an hour. And anyways. I'm coming in with that yellow ochre. We'll give it more of a golden. So maybe these colors are just coming off the moon's hands. So I did this tarot spread here based upon a dice roll of number 6. And then number 6 and 6, which is a number which means love in numerology. And so I went through my tarot deck and I picked up all the cards that mean the number 6. And then I just laid them out here, which were those. Maybe there's other ones, but oh no, I work really fast, man. I've been yeah, I work really fast. Hold on a second, somebody's yelling at me. So yeah. If you're I'm painting often, and so the more often you do things, the faster you go. But I also paint fast because I of the art that I sell. I have art that I have that I sell, and I can't really charge very much for it. So I work to do it as fast as I possibly can, and so that's how I kind of got into the habit of painting fast. But also, there's another reason, a reason to paint fast, which is now, I'm sitting here talking. I'm talking, and because this is not the first time I've done this. This is maybe the third or the fourth time, and I'm not doing a whole lot of thinking. I'm not doing a whole lot of thinking about what I'm doing, and that is actually, as a creative writer, one of your tools to enhance creativity is to try to bypass cognition. Bypassing cognition, because the more you think about things, sometimes the worse things get when it comes to doing art and doing writing. Now, when you're doing like let's say you're fine tuning, let's say you wrote a poem and you did it stream of consciousness, and you lay down the lines and you finish those lines in like 15 seconds. You did a 30 line poem in 15 seconds. It's possible. I've done it before. It hasn't happened very often, but you can do that. Now, but I've also have taken that poem that I wrote in like 15 seconds or maybe a minute, you know, And I spent hundreds of hours editing it and shaping it after that. And so that's kind of like more, legitimate thing, but that initial wave of inspiration and so forth, where you get that inspiration from, and all that, it comes in there, that I don't know where it was going. I was talking about how you can get there, and it comes into your mind, and you just do it in a sort of a stream of consciousness sort of a way. But then afterwards, you may end up spending years shaping it into something more perfect. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say. With the case of this watercolor here, I don't know how much shaping I'm going to do afterwards. Watercolors are not like acrylics. Like, so for instance, this is an acrylics painting that I spent probably 30, 40 hours on painting it, and shaping the colors and everything, so that to try to get this reflectivity in the water. The sky went really fast, but this part down in here went really, really, really slow. And this is done entirely in acrylics, and so you can keep adding the layers and the layers and the layers of paint down. And so this isn't purple, this is red and blue that are laid down on this paper, and they're changed optically. All these colors are this way, with the exception of this fluorescent yellow, this fluorescent orange. Everything has been constructed by layering the colors down, thin layer by thin layer by thin layer, and then eventually it becomes this. And so you can do this with oil paints, and you can do this with acrylics, but you can't do this with watercolor, because when you start reintroducing water into the canvas, it reawakens those colors. Yeah, it isn't easy. I've been working on the layering for quite some time, and so I paint with acrylics. I have a Amsterdam series of paints, but then this here is all goldens, and these are all transparent and semi-transparent colors. So this is fluorescent blue, this is a magnesium hue, titanium white. Now this spot is bone black, and bone black has a transparent color. This is transparent yellow ochre. This is semi-transparent green phthalo. This is semi-transparent primary yellow. This is a semi-transparent quinacridone magenta. And this is a transparent Azuron crimson. And this is just a standard red. And it's not, this one is a heavy body primary red. And this is a semi-transparent fluorescent magenta. And so for in the layering, I would be using this, and then I'd be cutting these paints, and then I cut these paints with fluids like I cut these paints with glazing fluids like this, in order to and this these mediums, and I cut these paints with these mediums in order to make them as close to to thin them out as far out as I can, and then you just keep adding the colors, and you add the colors, and you add the colors, and you shape, and you shape it, and then eventually you can get to something like this, and that's kind of the I've been painting since 2016, so 9 years, but I only started doing this layering thing within the last 6 months, and so you're looking at 8 years, and I'm not doing it that way. In 8 years' time, I'm spending my time using heavy-bodied paints and not mixing with too much water, not doing too much mixing and things like that. And it was only really because when I started live streaming art on this channel, I needed to have content all the time, and so I started watching tutorials and doing things in order to, expand my horizons, because you need more content and all the time, and that's also why I started learning tarot in one sense. I mean, one sense, because I wanted to learn tarot. That's one thing I've wanted to learn it, but I was always hung up on my Catholic faith about to not to pursue it. But it wasn't until my mother was sick in the hospital with COVID, and then that was a couple of years ago. I was asking some relatives, and then I found out that there were tarot readers in my family, and so I felt like, okay, well, I can learn, I can do that, and it's okay. And so that's just kind of a bit of my story there, but some pretty big words. Yeah. Anyways, that's all we got here. I'm gonna wrap this thing up here in a minute, and I think I'm gonna leave this like this. I really want to see what happens tomorrow, or when I come back to this. When I come back to this, what happens when I start adding some new layers on top of. Because I have no idea how this material is going to behave. Anyway, that's all I got. I like it because it's like in a light tunnel. Has a lot of thinking, a lot of thoughts here. Perfect Calm. When I first started doing a lot of these painting videos, I kind of saw it like that, like a sleep aid. And I also know that because I've been told that I have this soothing voice, and so providing I don't get overly excited, I can keep that tone. Yeah, I because when I myself am watching painting videos, I'm not watching them as a sleep aid. Now, I guess what Gilstrap TV is one that I might watch as a to unwind, or like sleep aid. But like I said, I think at the top when I started talking about sleep aid, it's that movie Down Periscope. That's what I'm watching for sleep aid. But yeah. kind of want that. Anyways, that's all I'm going to do for tonight. Thank you very much for hanging out with me for an hour. I wasn't expecting to be on for an hour. I was just going to quickly block in the colors and then I'll let it dry and then come back to it in a couple days, or maybe tomorrow night. And yeah. And so I got, like I said, I have some different content that I do here. And one of the things is talk. There's a bit of talk. And I got a special guest coming on Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And we're going to be coloring the Empress card. Miss Tarot D, she's going to be talking about her life. I don't know exactly what she's going to be saying. And then she's going to direct my hand on how to color the Empress card. Then that's Saturday afternoon. And I just finished a video on my other channel, Tools of Fortune. Tools of Fortune is my other channel. So my other channel is Tools of Fortune. And I do, I just did a video of funny yes-no questions using this Gypsy Witch fortune telling card deck. And I also had another deck that I used, which is a joke tarot deck called Real Life Tarot. And it's for storytelling, and so it's kind of like a thing. So if you were a regular tarot reader and you throw a dinner party or something like that, and then someone says, "Oh yeah, can you read my fortune?" and then you don't feel like doing it, well then you take this deck and you whip it out, and it has cards in it like it has fun, cards that are just like really it's like I say, it's a novelty item, but I use it for storytelling in it. And so I'm making stories up on the fly. And yeah. And so I'm not doing them on live streams because I don't have enough subs yet to do live streams yet. But as soon as I hit that magic threshold, I will be doing live streams. That I need like 20 more subs to get there. But I've just been doing regular videos. Nevertheless, all right, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Perfect call. And I will be back on another day. This is 999 Show. Like and sub if you like my content. And I'll be back tomorrow night with something new. All right. Thank you very much, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.